Today, I'm going to do an unboxing, or should I say an unbagging, since it comes in a bag. This is the Red Sea Sump modification kit. Let's take a look and see what's inside the bag. Nicely packaged here, a couple of nice staples, and then a Ziploc bag enclosure. First item, it comes with a blue knife, a protective sleeve for some specialty blades, very thin. Then lastly, you get a little scraper here with one razor blade included. And of course, your instruction manual. But wait, there's a QR code where you can scan for the video manual. Well, we love videos. Hey, welcome back to the Newbie Tank Series 2.0, all about my fish-only tank. If you've been following along in this series, this is episode number 9. And last week I was setting up my sump and I had to stop with this piece of equipment, my roller mat filtration device, because my sump needs some modification. Now this tank is the S1000 from Red Sea, and in the bundle, it comes with the roller mat. But where I want to place the roller mat, there's this little piece of glass in here that needs to be removed. I didn't know that. I just assumed because it's included that it would just fit where it belongs, really. But it needs to be modified. And it says that on the Red Sea website. In fact, they have a video, which I did scan the QR code when I was kind of making fun of unboxing and these tools, that there's a great video, and Red Sea makes great how-to videos that shows how to modify the sump. And of these tools, there's some thin little blades to cut the silicone. Now there's only one strip of silicone here that I got to cut out, and I probably could have just done it with a little knife like this, but I am going to go ahead and use their little thin blades and cut this out so that I can put the roller mat right where it belongs. And I'll show you that in a minute. And then we're going to get the rest of this sump set up. I've got a bunch of controllers that I need to set up to control all of these devices and some others. And that's what we're going to do next. But first, let me show you how I cut this. Well, I haven't done it yet. How I'm going to cut this piece of glass out just according to the Red Sea instructions. I had just one piece of glass I needed to remove, and it just had one strip of silicone along the bottom. So I got out the blue knife that I got from the Red Sea Sump modification kit. It's just a regular razor blade type knife. So I needed to replace that razor knife that you would use along the side of the glass and put in the ultra thin blade that will get between the glass, cutting through the silicone. So once I had that blade installed in the knife, I was able to just reach down in the sump, push it through the silicone, slide it back and forth a few times, and the glass just pulled right out. That was easy. Now I'm just going to get the last little pieces of silicone off the bottom with the razor blade. Special Red Sea razor blade. All right, now I can move my roller mat all the way over to the position that I want it, right by the outlet here where the flow comes out of my overflow box down right into the roller mat, using this piece of tubing to connect it. It screws right in there. They give you a long piece of tubing. I read ahead in the directions and I glued the fitting on that it came with. But really, I want to shorten this to, well, really about there, less than half. So I'm going to try to cut this fitting off and cut this hose and re-glue it and hook this roller mat up. I'm going to try to cut this off, this fitting, without damaging the fitting, so that I can re-glue it after I shorten this hose. Okay, I was able to get that off pretty easily. I just cut a piece and pried it with the screwdriver, cleaned most of the silicone off of here. Now I'm just going to shorten this pipe up to the right length and cut it with my trusty new blue Red Sea blade, and then put some new silicone on there and glue that, and then I'll be able to just screw these fittings on. Okay, now that I've got my reef mat set up, I'm going to set up my control board from Adaptive Reef. Control board, here's the box. I'm going to open this up for you and set this up. All right, let's get this controller board out of here. I love that it's assembled. Woohoo! No assembly required. So here it is. I like that it's lightweight. Super durable, all assembled. This is the XL Deluxe. And you can see it's got all the little pullouts to run your cords through. You mount all your different controllers on here. I just use two-sided tape to mount mine. That way I have flexibility to change it without putting a lot of holes in here. Now I have one of these on my reef tank, but this is going on my Fowler tank. Hold on, don't eat those. Let me set this down and get rid of the box, and we'll come back. Let's see how it looks down in here, how it's going to fit. So that should sit just like that with all my controllers mounted on it. Now the thing is, the Red Sea comes with its own kind of mounting board that slides out, which I'm not sure how I'm going to utilize this, but I might use it. But I really like these Adaptive Reef ones with all the little plugs and the little shelves on the back. It's really easy to organize all of your controllers. So you can see all the shelves, little mounting spots for zip ties or however you want to mount them. The little plugs, they put some felt on there to keep them tight and go in smooth. It's just the best way to do it, honestly. Look at this. Would you look at this? I got like nose prints on it already from the dog. Austin, come out of there. Oh, look at, I got footprints all over in the sump area already. You walked all around it. What's that? That's nose slobber. Okay, now I'm going to mount all of these controllers onto this Adaptive Reef controller mounting board. Now I'm going to use this 3M two-sided tape to mount all the brackets on the back of these. Now I did this in my same setup on my reef tank a couple of years ago, and I also taped all of my lights under my sump with this same tape. And I did see someone mention in the comments that, hey, you don't want to tape things above your sump because the tape will eventually, with the salt water or whatever, give way and fall into the water. That actually did happen to me with my Tunzi ATO system on my reef tank. I used the tape that it came with, and I had taped it up to the back of the sump, and it eventually fell off. I didn't use the mounting screws. A lot of these things will come with two-sided tape, and it's just really to get it where you want it, and then you use the screw holes and screw it in. I don't want to put holes in here because I want to be able to change it, and to be honest, you just gotta buy the right tape. This is the crazy strong stuff from 3M, and they mount like spoilers on cars with this stuff. And so it really, really works good. I've had my lights and my sump on my other tank in there for 2 years. All of my stuff on my mounting board, nothing's come loose. In fact, after I read the comment, I went in there and was shaking and pulling on my lights. They're so solid. There could be a concern with saltwater, but honestly, 2 years on my other tank and nothing's happened with this tape. This stuff's awesome. So I'm going to go ahead and mount all of these things. I'm not going to go into detail about what they all do and how to set them up in the app. That'll be in a future episode because it's just so much. Right now it's about cable management and getting this tank up and running. And then we'll come back in a future episode and talk about what everything does and show you it on the app and how I set it up. So this is a good spot for a cool montage of me setting this up. All right, there it is. I'm gonna move my reef can here because I want to show you the part that you never see when you really look at these things is the organizing the cables. And I'm gonna spin this around. Don't fall over. It's hard to sit on the floor and show you this stuff. It's tight down here, but that's why you want it organized. So if ever you got to get in there, you can see what's what. So everything's coming in. These are all going to be in a tray that's going to get mounted up here. So everything that's coming from my sump, from my return pump to my skimmer, the wires are going to come across in a tray and come into this. And then all your power supplies. This is what I like about the Adaptive Reef shelf, is all the shelves where you can put your power supplies and tie them right on here and then organize all that extra IEC cable, and it has a nice look instead of all that crap just laying in here. So that's all set up. I've got the sump all set up. I've got just a couple pieces of equipment left to install, my auto top off system and my heaters, and then I'm ready for water. So that's where I'm going to leave you right now for this week. Next week, what I'm going to cover is setting all of this up on the apps, because it all is app based. And you may have noticed something that I didn't even talk about is I've got some other controllers on here that, let me spin this around again. I've got a couple other controllers here from Hydros that are going to control some other systems. I have things like salinity probe, pH probe, temperature sensor, and some power management things. And I'll talk about what all of this does and how I set it up on the app and how cool it is to have things automated. Hey, thanks again for joining me on another episode of my tank build. I'm having a good time sharing it with you. All that YouTube stuff, like, subscribe, follow, click the bell. See you on the next one.